Explored in a couple of different ways. One way will be when we are together each week for these live broadcasts, and I will talk about various aspects of meditation and hopefully go into them with some depth. And then later, during the week, there's also going to be videos that will be available for you to check in with on the website, videos of guided meditations. Also, what will be part of that will be after the guided meditation, there'll be exercises, and exercises are basically ways to bring the gifts of meditation or the possibilities that meditation opens up into daily living. Because to me, meditation is valuable in many ways to the extent that somehow, in some way, it translates into our daily lives, which means it actually transforms us, right? It's not just not a place where we learn a kind of meditation technique or method and we can make us feel better for a while, but we more or less remain untransformed. For me, meditation is really about transformation. It's not just about experiences you have on the meditation cushion. It's not simply about how deep the state of samadhi you can enter into. That meditation is a way to contact, to actually realize this sort of the infinite ground of being, the ultimate ground of being itself, whether you think of it as your being or the being of existence, the being of God, however you want to see that context of the word being, however you want to define that for yourself. But this is really, to me, what meditation is. It's not only connecting with that, the ultimate ground, the ultimate source of our own being, realizing it, but it also helps us to carry it forth into our daily living. So that all of that, to me, is really what meditation is about. It's the possibility that meditation holds. And one of the things that I've always appreciated about meditation is the fact that you got to do it. It's something you either do or you don't do. In other words, it's not just a theory, it's not an idea, it's not a theology. It's actually something we do. It's something we actually engage in. And because it's something you engage in, it has a certain reality to it. It's not just a conceptual thing. It's not simply an idea. It's not even fundamentally an idea. It's a way of engaging in your direct experience of being that has the potential to help open ourselves up, open our awareness, open our consciousness to the very ground of our being. And not only that, but also help us, aid us in bringing that forth into the way we move and live in the world. So the first question about meditation, I think, is why? Why do we meditate? I talked to that for a moment. But another part of why we meditate is, I think, first of all, the acknowledgement that there's lots of whys, that people meditate for all sorts of different reasons, for health, for stress reduction, for to get into interesting, wild states of being or have different experiences or to awaken their kundalini or, it goes on and on and on for psychological reasons, for emotional reasons, for health reasons. There's lots of reasons. There's lots of whys to why one would meditate. And in the context of this course and in the context of which I teach about meditation, it's really important that we have a common understanding of why we're doing this. Because the way that I talk about meditation, the way that I teach meditation, is all oriented around the why we're meditating. In other words, what is this meditation supposed to be helping me with? It can help me with so many different things. what is the reason that we're doing it? What is the reason that we are together now exploring this subject? And again, for me, and for the way I teach about meditation, meditation is actually a means of diving to the very source and core of our being, to awakening ourselves at the deepest possible level, the most fundamental level of being, at the ground of our being. That's the whole focus of all the reasons that we could be meditating or that I could be teaching about meditation. This is the reason. This is the why. This is the answer to the question why I meditate, or why is this course talking about meditation in the way that it is, in the context that it is. So I think that's really important, because we have to know what our own agenda is. In other words, why we're doing whatever we're doing. And so this is the first, most obvious, I guess, answer to that question of why do we meditate? Why would I do this? And within that context of deeply going into the very core of our being, it's a means to access the deepest core of your being. It's a means to go deeper than the conceptual mind, deeper than the emotional body, even deeper than your personal psychology. It's a means to kind of dig down really, really deeply into the fundamental strata of human consciousness. That's really the reason. That's really the reason that I teach about meditation, that I talk about meditation. And like I said, one of the things that I appreciate about it, it's something you do. We can sit around talking about spirituality to ourselves or somebody else. We can read about it in a book or on the internet. We can endlessly listen to recordings or YouTube videos or whatever it is, or books or whatever that we that we engage in, and all of that has its place in spirituality. But meditation is something fundamentally different. It's something it's not conceptual. It's something you're engaging it with your whole being, with your body and your mind and your spirit. You're not just engaging it with your mind. It's not just the contemplation of ideas. And that's the beauty of it. And that's also the challenge of it. The challenge of it is that you either doing it or you're not doing it. So it's something that we actually do. And I think that's important. One of the things I think that meditation shows us, the first thing it tends to show a lot of people is how fractured they are, how chaotic their mind state is, their mental state, how chaotic their emotional state is, how it all rests on this very flimsy, precarious foundation, and how, and this is, at first, it's kind of a shock, when you first sit in silence, for a lot of people, to realize how chaotic your mind is, to realize how much it's out of your control, how beyond your control your own thought process is. At first, it can be somewhat disconcerting. I remember when I first started to meditate, 35 years ago, I just thought, I didn't know I was this much of a mess. I didn't know my mind was this busy. I didn't know it was so difficult to settle down. And I think a lot of people initially find that to be the case. So one of the beautiful and unsettling things about meditation is that it really holds up a mirror where we actually get to see ourselves. Because, like I said, it's not conceptual. It's not based on what you think about yourself or what you think about God or what you think about awakening or enlightenment. It's not about what you think about. It's about what's right there in the mirror of your own awareness when you sit down and face it all very directly. And when you face yourself really directly, which is in one sense the essence of meditation, you face yourself silently. You're not just talking to yourself about yourself. That's a kind of form of analysis. But meditation is actually more direct. You're facing yourself directly as you are, wordlessly. And that's like looking into a mirror at any given moment. And in that mirror of meditation, you actually experience and you see where your state of being is, where your mental state of being is, and your emotional state, the entire state of your being. That's what we confront in the mirror of meditation. So in this course, I'll kind of go in a progressive way. I'll unfold meditation in a progressive way. 1 week we'll get to a deeper form of meditation than the week that preceded it. And so we'll go and we'll talk about what those deeper forms of meditation is, how to approach them, how to encourage them, the beauty of them, the challenge of them, and so it goes. So each week we'll be going to a deeper and more